Hello everyone, I am Kveli Laha, the student of Regional Institute of Education, Bhubaneswar, MA Semester 2. I am going to present National Knowledge Commission. National Knowledge Commission was constituted on 13 June 2005 by the Prime Minister of India, Dr. Manmohan Singh. This National Knowledge Commission was given a time frame of 3 years from 2nd October 2005 to 2nd October 2008 to achieve its objectives. The Commission introduced policy related to education, research institutes and reforms that made India competitive in the field of education. The vision of National Knowledge Commission was constituted as an advisory body to the Prime Minister. It helped to restructure knowledge-related institutions and infrastructure to meet the challenges of 21st century. The vision for National Knowledge Commission was articulated by Dr. Manmohan Singh, Prime Minister of India, in the following words. The time has come to create a second wave of institution building and of excellence in the fields of education, research and capability building. As per government notification of 13 June 2005, the following are the terms of reference of National Knowledge Commission. Build excellence in the educational system to meet the knowledge challenges of 21st century and increase India's competitive advantage in field of education. Promote creation of knowledge in science and technology laboratories. Improve the management of institutes engaged in intellectual property rights. Promote knowledge application in agriculture and industry. Promote the use of knowledge capabilities in making government an effective, transparent and accountable service provider to the citizen. Promote widespread sharing of knowledge to maximize public benefits. And the overall task before the National Knowledge Commission is to take steps that will give India the knowledge age in the coming decades. That is to ensure that our country becomes a leader in the creation, application and dissemination of knowledge. Next, the organization and the members of National Knowledge Commission. Mr. Sam Patoda was the chairman of this commission and the Dr. P.M. Bhargava was the vice chairman of this commission. The National Knowledge Commission consists of 8 members including the chairman. All members perform their duties on a part-time basis and do not claim any remuneration for the same. The members are assisted in their duties by a technical support staff which consists of a maximum of 10 young professionals from primary educational institutions hired on contract basis. A small number of officials may be seconded to the National Knowledge Commission by the government for administrative coordination as officers on special duty. The Commission is also free to cooperate expert to assist in the management of its tasks. For the purposes of oversight, a National Steering Group for the National Knowledge Commission has been created under the chairmanship of the Prime Minister. This group includes the Ministers of Human Resource Developments, Agriculture, Commerce and Industry, and Communication and Information Technology. The Deputy Chairman of the Planning Commissions and the Ministry of State for Science and Technology. The Planning Commission is the nodal agency for the National Knowledge Commission for planning and budgeting purposes as well as for handling parliament-related responses. The methodology of the National Knowledge Commission is to form working groups within each of its focus areas and make concrete proposals for reform directly to the Prime Minister through a series of white papers. This task involves working in close collaboration with central and state governments, professionals, academicians, scientists, regulatory bodies, national think tanks, industry representatives, civil society organizations, etc. Next is Knowledge Pentagon. Knowledge Pentagon focus on 5 areas. First area, access to knowledge. Access is one of the most fundamental issues in a knowledge society. Even if universities, research institutions and laboratories produce large amount of knowledge, it will be of little use until the majority of population actually possesses adequate means to acquire, absorb and communicate this knowledge. Next is knowledge concepts. Advance in knowledge and its application are products of human endeavor. Therefore, it is of utmost importance that we nurture the skills and intellectual capacities of our largely youthful population in order to build a strong base of human capital that can transform India into a strong knowledge economy. Third one is knowledge creation. Although India has the option of borrowing or buying new knowledge from abroad, it is important to create self-sufficiency by promoting indigenous research, especially in science and technology. Science and technology has the ability to accelerate the processes of other parallel knowledge objectives, leading to economic growth and security. Number 4th, knowledge application. The creation of knowledge cannot be directionless. To drive maximum benefits from our intellectual assets, we must apply knowledge in fields like agriculture, industry, health, education, etc., where productivity can be enhanced. Knowledge application is both a goal in itself and a facilitator of progress in these important sectors. Number 5th, knowledge services. Investment in knowledge services will produce large-scale benefits for the common human. Technology has the potential to make government services and functioning more accountable, transparent and efficient. E-governance can change the way in which the citizens of India perceive and interact with the government. Next is the recommendation of National Knowledge Commission. First is the increase in gross enrollment rate. National Knowledge Commission has recommended increasing gross enrollment rate in higher education to 15th and above by 2015. Second one, diversification of source of financing. In addition to increased public spending, this would involve diversifying the source of financing to encourage private participation, industry linkages. Next one is creation of universities. To bring about expansion in Indian education systems, National Knowledge Commission has suggested the creation of 1500 universities by 2015, partly by restructuring the existing ones. Of these, 50 new national universities may be established to provide education of the highest standard. These would train students in a variety of disciplines. These institutions would have provisions for frequent curricular revision, an appropriate system of appointment and incentives to maximize productivity of faculty, a great deal of autonomy in management coupled with accountability, a policy of needs-blind admission, and freedom to set student free levels, and as well as to tap other sources of generating funds. Next one, creation of independent regulatory authority for higher education. In order to reduce the current barriers to entry, National Knowledge Commission has recommended setting up an independent regulatory authority for higher education, which would be at an arm's length for all stakeholders and would accord degree granting power to universities. Next one is reform of existing universities. To ensure quality, National Knowledge Commission has called for reform of existing university to include frequent curricular revision, introduction of sources credit system, enhancing reliance on internal assessment, encouraging research, and reforming governance of institutions. Next one is in restructuring system of undergraduate colleges. National Knowledge Commission has recommended restructuring the system of affiliated undergraduate colleges, which no longer provides a valuable model for quality higher education. Next one is models for community colleges. National Knowledge Commission has also suggested creating models for community colleges that provide credit and non-credit courses leading to years associate degrees. This would include general education program as well as employment oriented program, creating the flexibility for students to pursue higher education later in life. National Knowledge Commission believes that all deserving students should have access to higher education irrespective of their socio-economical background. Next one is attract students in science and math. To rejuvenate science education and research in the country, National Knowledge Commission consider it crucial to attract more students in science and math. To encourage this, National Knowledge Commission has recommended launching a massive science outreach programs, upgrading available infrastructure, revitalizing the teaching profession, and revamping teacher training at all levels. Next one, improvement in quality of PhDs. To invigorate research and development in the country, National Knowledge Commission has recommended steps to improve the quality of PhDs. It has suggested massive investment in education and research at all levels, together with a renovation and reform of university systems, and the fostering a global outlook in research. Next one, National Knowledge Network. To key to successful research today demands live consultation, data sharing, and resource sharing. Towards this end, National Knowledge Commission has recommended the establishment of a high-end national knowledge network connecting all India's knowledge institutions in various fields and at various locations throughout the country through an electronic digital broadband network with gigabyte capacity. Recommendation of National Knowledge Commission has been key input in formulating board counters of the 11 plan. The 11 plan approved at the meeting of the National Development Council on 19 December 2007 and places the highest priority on education as a central instrument of achieving rapid and inclusive growth. This is reflected in the fourfold increase in resource allocation. At rupees 2.7 lakh crore, it constitutes 20% of the plan, representing a creditable progress towards the target of 6% of GDP. Next, follow-up on National Knowledge Commission recommendation. The government has been committed to implementing the Commission's recommendations. The action taken in higher and technical education includes to expand capacity and improve quality of higher education. The government has sanctioned the setting up of 15 new central universities and 14 new universities based on world-class standards. The government is in the process of setting up 8 Indian institutes of technology, 10 national institutes of technology, 20 Indian institutes of information technology, as far as possible in the public-private partnership mode, 3 Indian institutes of science, education and research, 7 Indian institutes of management and 2 schools of planning and architecture. The Committee of Rejuvenation and Renovation of Higher Education set up for the review of UGC or SITE has submitted its report. The Science and Engineering Research Board Bill 2008 have been introduced in the Parliament. The National Mission on Education through Information and Communication Technology has been launched to leverage the potential of ICT in the teaching learning process with an aim to enhance the GER in higher education by 5% point by the end of the 11th plan. Next, the conclusion. The Indian education system improvement in required at many levels, from primary school to higher education and research institution of national excellence. At all levels, there is a need to improve both access and excellence. There are fiscal and administrative challenges to be tackled, and there are intellectual and leadership issues to be addressed. And the Knowledge Commission has come forward with creative idea to promote the knowledge base of Indian economy and to exploit the vast latent potential. National Knowledge Commission must leverage it to make India truly the knowledge engine of the world that Dr. Manmohan Singh 2005 he talked about. And if these initiatives are successfully implemented, the country will be able to harness the advantage of its demographic dividend, and the youth will be able to realize their full potential in the global economy. The report on higher education submitted by Sam Pitoda on behalf of the National Knowledge Commission on January 12, 2007 suggests that foreign educational institutions should be allowed in with policies to ensure that there is incentive for good institutions and disincentives for substandard institutions to come to India. Level playing field must be ensured, and all rules that pledge to democratic institutions should allow be applicable to foreign institutions. And this is the reference. These references are helped me to make these videos, and thank you.